share with you my story. Will you share your God with me? Bad times are coming and I reap what I done sowed. Well, let me tell you something. All that glitters ain't gold.
Yeah, welcome back, East Oakland. We are here at KEXU 96.1 FM and the Score News Network. And I am the Black Cripple.
Yeah, this is PNN, not CNN. That's Poor People's Revolutionary News Hour, not corporate, sold out, pimped out news hour. And I am the poverty scholar, that houseless mama, that houseless daughter, all the people you don't want to see, never want to be, look away from me. Well, what you gonna do, arrest me? We're in your city. Yeah, welcome to Liberation. Liberation news that actually speaks, lives, walks, and teaches self-determination.
Mm-hmm. So today on the show, of course, we're going to get to our gentrification report, and we have the guest in the studio, Gerald Sanders. He's going to come up and talk about his news. But first, we're going to get to the gentrification report.
Scam lords, I'm watching you. Yeah, I did say scam lords. So this week's gentrification report, which I pronounce a little differently for those of you who know me. As usual, I get calls. This revolutionary jailhouse lawyer outside of jail without a degree gets calls from houseless families, from folks on the brink of houselessness, from folks facing scam lords and developers, just like me and my mom for many years in these stolen, occupied, indigenous streets. So this week it was actually 3 calls, one from a multi-generational family, an elder being told that she wasn't on the lease. Well, the interesting part, and because of, quote, she not being on the lease, they were going to evict the whole family of a disabled child, a single parent, and a 75-year-old elder mama. Well, she wasn't even the mom, so let's get real about this, and I just want to explain to people how this goes down. Again, if you need help with your scam lord problems, email poormag@gmail.com. I do what I can outside the law, and I've lived through this, so my knowledge is rooted in poverty scholarship. But I do know that kangaroo court system, and all those liars. So that said, when you have a family member move into the house, and they are, whether they're blood family or chosen family, first of all, if they've resided in the unit over 29 days, guess what, scam lords? They're your tenant, whether you like it or not. That's number one. Number two.
Was the period on Section 8 or just a regular apartment?
It's a regular apartment. I'm glad you asked that. Because Section 8 or no. These actually California rent laws apply. Yeah, and they always try to act like it's different because you're on Section 8, but actually what overrides Section 8 is the California Rent Control Ordinance. So anyway, all that's to say, in this case it was an auntie, and it was a play auntie, it wasn't blood, and that's okay. You know how our families are, right? And the auntie was there as a caregiver also for the minor child, right? She was doing child care, and the minor child was disabled. So there's all these, intersecting issues. The main thing is that the elder auntie herself was over 65, therefore a protected class, was disabled herself, and was a tenant in that unit. So for this landlord, scam lord, to be saying that because of that they were going to evict the entire family, first of all, they were completely out of pocket. Second of all, that they can't legally do that, not only because of ADA laws, but because of residency laws. And thirdly, they could actually get a case for age discrimination, because this was not only age and disabled, right? Not harassment only, but discrimination. So I need to give you the code words, because we could say words like harassment and abuse And those aren't the words that the kangaroo court respects. So I do need you to understand when I use certain words, it's because that's the words that the system, right, understands. So what has to happen in those situations is that, this is what I explained to the tenant, they have to send a letter, and it has to be written, and you also have to follow up with an email if they have an email, and a text. You do every portal of information where you're stating, number one, that this is an elder, number two, that they're disabled, number three, that they're a caregiver of your child, and number four, that they have been there for over a month and therefore are a resident within the California residency laws. But that without their help, you would not be able to care for that disabled child. And now you already know, in terms of ADA, they have the right to have a caregiver that's in home. So they don't even have to answer all the rest of the stuff. You could just deal with that part. But the important part for people to understand is, even if you're not caring for a disabled child, if you have an elder who is living in your house, they are a protected class under 368 code, penal code of elder abuse, right? So that's one of the pieces that we brought out in 2014 when we talked about eviction being elder abuse. To actually displace or remove an elder, under the same kind of idea where somebody just moved in and they weren't on the lease. Well, that may apply, not really, but they could get away with that with a adult between the ages of 18 and 54, but actually not after that, because then it becomes under something else. So this is the advice for this week. That letter was sent out. That the good news I have to report back is that scam lord backed the off of that BS, and that family is safe in their overpriced Oakland apartment. That's this week's gentrification report. Back at you next week.
Wow, so Poor Magazine's doing it. Good work. So we're gonna call up our guest Gerald from the hood. He's gonna talk about what's going on in his circle. And me and Gerald go back. Me and Gerald did a program at KPLA back in the day. So welcome to KXU 96.1 FM. Poor Magazine.
Poor People's Revolutionary News Hour. So, Gerald, I do want to say that we got some information about a powerful history project that's going on this month, and so we were going to start on that, and then you can go wherever you want to, and Poor News Network welcomes and loves you.
Thank you very much, sister.
All right.
What I wanted to talk about is we have a film project. I'm part of several organizations, but I'm part of an organization called a collective called Liberated Lens. And we're a group of people that make videos, and we also show videos. We try to show videos that will hopefully raise people's consciousness and awareness. For instance, we showed the video National Bird. So we had the people that were under indictment come and answer questions. National Bird was a video about people that worked for the NSA, and they were in charge of flying the drones and dropping the bombs on people, and they were being lied to, and they were being told that they were dropping bombs on Al Qaeda and stuff like that. But because people kept telling the truth and explaining, no, you just bombed a wedding, no, you just bombed some babies, no, you just bombed a family, and all the truth started coming out. And see, people need to be aware of this. When folks are being told that they're protecting the nation and they put on their little uniform to be a military, whatever, in their heart, they think they're doing something useful, something good. When they find out that they're being used like that, they often rebel. And we need to be sensitive to that and help those people who are rebelling. So, that's why Liberated Lens got behind that particular group and helped to promote them. There's many other, okay, there's many other, I'm gonna turn that thing off. There's many other films that we show and have shown that are similar, where we always invite the people who make the film so that they can talk directly to the public. The guy that made that film Berkeley in the 60s, he made a beautiful film called A Fierce Green Fire. And it was the history of the struggle for environmentalism in America. Most people don't know this is like Love Canal, where people they poisoned the water through the radiation, stuff like that. Those was white folks that was rebelling against U.S. capitalism. Yeah, it's very interesting. In fact, that's why we have to pay attention to the base of our present president, because he just got caught just a low hypocrite, lying scum. Y'all think I'm using strong language? Let me tell you something. This man go around talking about immigrants. He said that the immigrants is murderers and rapists and dope and all this old bullshit. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. I'll work on that. The point is, he just got caught. Now dig this. He talked about immigrants. We need a wall to keep them. And wind up half of his staff that run his different little golf clubs, undocumented workers. And they got caught. It was on television. It seems to me, if you hiring that many undocumented workers, this is not an accident. This is not just negligence. It's a conscious policy to avoid paying these people their benefits, Social Security, and other things that they deserve. They should go to jail. Don't we go to jail for fraud?
All the time.
Don't we go to jail if we pass a bad check?
All the time. Corporate gangsters never go to jail.
Well, don't
Wesley Snipes.
Look, yeah, it's time. It's time for a change.
Time is now.
But anyway, back to our 400 Years in America film series. So y'all may be aware that this year, 2019, is officially the 400th year that they first brought black slaves to Virginia. That was when the first black slaves touched in Virginia. So to be a part of the consensus in our community is that this should be observed, that we need to make sure that our young people learn about the history of black people. And so in order to do that, we started this particular film series. Now, Dennis Terry, you talk about poverty scholars, right? I talk about the poverty of bourgeois scholarship.
Oh.
But there really are people, working people that have no money, that are poor, that do rise intellectually to the level of scholars. And Dennis is one of them. This cat studies, the black man, he studies film. And he taught me a lot. And we hoping to share some of what he taught me and our collective to all who are interested, okay? So for instance, our first film, all right, y'all may have heard of a film called The Birth of the Nation.
Yeah, of course.
What was that about? What was The Birth of the Nation about?
Well, back in the day, the Birth of the Nation was about, just really putting negative light on black people. It's like almost minstrel shows.
Fascism.
That's right. In fact, it was worse than a minstrel show because it was praising the Ku Klux Klan and justifying lynching and suggesting that black men only want to rape white women and all that. No, I've seen unfortunately, I've watched it a few times because I want to remember that. And I want to be able to polemicize against it. But did you know that as soon as they made that film, that black people made a film to answer it?
What?
Oh yeah, black people have been making films for a long time.
What's up?
Long time. And in fact, now, while, I wish I was a little better prepared with all my little, computer stuff, but I remember this. I can't recall the name of the film. Hopefully I will return and I will tell you the name of the film, but I remember the film real well. And what the film showed and what it did was it showed the stupidity of prejudice. and how irrational it is.
Wow.
It was a direct answer
Wow.
to the birth of the nation. And that show you black people have been trying to use film all along.
Before Spike Lee.
Oh, way before. I'm talking, this is the 1920s, man.
Thank you.
This is the 1920s. Black people was on it.
Thank you.
So, I mean, I'm not talking no ooga booga makeup stuff. I'm talking about this is factual.
Wow.
And we need to be aware and proud. But you can't be proud of your past.
You don't know it.
If you don't know it, there you go. So,
This
one
series.
of the all right, so this series, I said all of that to say this, that this series is going to begin the third Sunday in this month. This third Sunday, February, the third Sunday is, help me.
I think it's the 24th, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the third Sunday. Is that, you sure that's the third Sunday?
Third Sunday.
Nat Turner movie trailer? Is that what you were thinking about?
No,
no.
it's the 17th.
Response to Birth of a Nation.
No, it's the 17th.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
say it
stand
again.
It's
corrected.
17th.
17th.
February 17th.
Okay, I beg your pardon, folks. It's February the 17th, and it's going to be, I believe, at 4 o'clock. I want to invite y'all to, if you got a phone or access to a computer, go online and put in liberatedlens.org. And then you can find out more about our organization, our collective.
And we'll put it right behind us in a minute. So
Okay.
We'll pull it up.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So on that website, you'll get the exact. I'm pretty sure it's 4 o'clock, February 17th, and the name of it is Night John. Now, what is Night John?
Yeah.
I never heard that name. Well, guess what? We wanted to show, for instance, like a movie like Panther, right?
Yeah.
Try to get the young people to come. To show that movie, you got to pay
Yeah,
$500.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You gotta pay $500, and we can't pirate this stuff. We gotta be legit because we don't want to close our place down. So so we looked for a piece that we could afford to show that had some real cultural and historical value. Night John is the story of during slavery. It's the story of a black man who came along. This is after Nat Turner Rebellion. After 1831, Nat Turner's Rebellion, they made teaching slaves to read illegal.
Illegal, yeah.
Y'all should think about that when y'all be clowning in school. But just stop and think. You gotta learn how to read. Night John was a slave that had become free, right? He became free. He went back into slavery to teach the children how to read. Now I'm gonna let a little bit out.
Oh.
He paid because he got caught. They cut one of his fingers off. But I can't tell you no more.
So
Right behind you too. Hold it up.
There it is. That's it.
Actually, it's 5 o'clock, not 4. But go ahead.
it's almost like Harry Tubman. It's almost like Harry Tubman. Coming
Very
back.
much, very much so. Because you got to free your mind, and then your will follow, right? So we're inviting y'all to come and enjoy the film. We're gonna have a writer or two come and answer questions, and let's talk about books and the black community. Let's talk about knowledge. Can't get enough. Because knowledge is infinite and suckers ain't into it.
Woo!
So come on, y'all. We want y'all to come on through and check out the Night John. Every month, the third Sunday of that month, just get used to coming on down to the Omni. The Omni's located at 4799 Shattuck Avenue. Real easy to get to. Shattuck Avenue in Oakland, not Berkeley, in Oakland. So you come on down and enjoy your culture, your history. with us. All right, now we got some more. Can I share some more?
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that people who are listening and also viewers out there, you're listening to Poor People's Revolutionary News Hour with Leroy and Tiny. This is PNN, not CNN. That's the Poor People's Revolutionary News on KEXU 96.1 FM and streaming live on www.poormagazine.org/radio. We're in studio today with powerful brother Gerald, who actually is speaking to us on a film series called 400 Years of Black History. I like to flip it to Black Herstory, but we all there. And also, he just popped a really important, I just want to repeat it, that again, this coming, no, not this coming, but February 17th at the Omni in Oakland, they will be showing this powerful movie called Night John at 5 p.m. on February 17th at the Omni. Come through. Is there a fee to get in?
Don't cost you a dime to get into mine.
Okay, that's what's up. So again, we're on the News Hour with Leroy and Tiny. Check out this powerful work, and it's at liberatedlens.org. That's liberated, as in liberation. And so Gerald is also, like he says, has his hand in a whole bunch of powerful work. And I know you've been on this really important teacher strike. We love our teachers. Poor News Network's been on that from the gate. Shout out to Mutiado. Shout out to teacher over at CCPA, all the teachers who we met with last week. We love you. This is going to be a safe space if it happens. We already committed to that. And so tell us what's going on.
Okay, well, one, the teachers, I'm turning that thing off. The teachers have been forced to go on strike. Now, you might say to me, gee, what the hell are you talking about forced? Can't nobody make nobody go on strike. Yeah, that's the end of that. Look here. Yes, they can. Yes, they can make you. And I'm going to show you how they done made these teachers go on strike. Little by little, they have undermined and degraded our public schools.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's right.
Let me just give you one small example. When I first moved to Oakland from New York City, around 1975, around in there, 40% of our teachers were black.
Wow.
What do you think it is today?
Like 3?
3 or 4%.
Oh my God.
I want you
In
to stop and
Oakland.
think. In Oakland.
The people can't even afford to live here.
Well, no, but they started this. This started a while back.
Oh, but
When they turned on us and they started trying to destroy the school. I'm not trying to say, don't get me wrong. I don't think that like all black people is wonderful, because every brother ain't a brother. And I'm not trying to say all white people is the devil. I don't believe in that. But it is true, this is true, that black people that are educators feel something deep inside. I was a teacher. I can just tell you, I was a teacher. That was my first profession. I walked away from it because I didn't like what I saw, and I went on to teach in junior college, and eventually I just went on and lived my life. But understand this, black teachers care about their community. I mean that. I think all teachers come to love their children, but black teachers care about their community. And because of that, and I know y'all gonna try to say nigga crazy, but you know what? Black people are a threat to the system. Black teachers are a threat. You know why? Y'all say, oh, here you go. No. Listen to me. Follow the logic. The reason that black teachers are a threat to the system and the system acts in kind is because they know that as they begin to bear down on the black community and intensify the oppression, who is it that's going to step forward as leaders? Well, if you're going to lead, you got to be able to read.
Yes.
You got to be able to write. Well, where are you going to find a concentration of those people? Among our teachers. And historically, that is what happens. And that's what's happening now, by the way. You're starting to see as they just killing us for no reason, and we're becoming more aware of the blatant, trigger-happy policing that we suffer. More and more, the black community is coming together. More and more, every day. And black teachers play a disproportionately large role in that. And the 1% knows it. They know it. And so they hate the black teachers. And I'm sorry to say, they go out of their way to run the black teachers off. And I got proof. We're doing a study on this. Me and a number of other black educators. We're actually collecting the data to show this. Since, for instance, the No Child Left Behind bill was passed, they got rid of 100,000 black teachers.
What?
See, we ain't. They get you here, they get you here, they get you, and then
you get lost.
you not, and then we got the crack going on,
Yeah.
and then they got a war over here,
Yeah.
and then they got this happening,
Yeah.
and we get all
You
confused.
don't know what's up.
That's exactly, and they keep us in that mayhem.
That's right.
And what we need is order. We
Yeah.
need revolutionary order. We need somebody to clarify stuff, to lead the way. And what's happening now is more and more, they're forcing us to fight back. So they have forced these teachers to fight back because the damn teachers, because the teachers can't even afford to live in this city because they get paid so low. Now that's bad.
Yeah, it
Isn't teaching a profession?
is. Thank you.
Aren't they supposed to be proud to be teachers? Aren't we supposed to be proud of our teachers?
Yeah. And
They don't even pay them enough to pay for an apartment in Oakland.
that's right.
It's
I'm sorry.
no. You talking about some truth there. Back in 1995, when I was a senior in my undergrad, I did a small study. I went to like four campuses: San Francisco State University, San Francisco Berkeley, and another campus. I talked to like at least 500 graduate special education students that are going to go into teaching. All of them were white. All of them were white and all of them were female.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I do want to say a shout out to Rata teachers as well, so black and brown. My
Asian.
son went to Leonard Flynn in the city, which was a poor people's school, in the Mission before it was Gentry effed, and literally changed his life. Why? Because he saw himself in this not only brown teacher, but this revolutionary man of color who had dealt with poverty and had lived a similar life to him, and who refused to go along with that scripted curriculum and that trash that they try to give our children. So yes, this is extremely important, and yes, this system is a setup for Get-Up to not only take our kids apart, but to take the people who teach our kids apart.
Okay, well, so all right. Let me prove it. Let me prove something to you. We all say, "Oh, this Negro think everything a conspiracy." No, I don't think. Sometimes it's just a clear policy. Here's an example: the Oakland Unified School District, and ask me how I know. I used to work for them. All right, so I know. One of the things they're doing. Years ago, they shut down 35 schools. Now they want to shut down 25 schools. Can I prove it? Just last week, they shut down a school called Roots.
Love Roots,
Roots,
too. Right
Roots.
down here on 61st, where my son used to
66,
go.
66. Havens, it's the Havens Court campus,
Yeah.
and they voted 6-1 to shut the school down. But I'm gonna show you something. I came into the school board meeting with a sign. Now I tell you, I'm getting up there now. I'm old as water, so I do be forgetting this and that. But I had the sign was the picture of the school board director and how much money he got from Bill Gates, Go Public Schools, and other privatizing factors. $151,000, and we put that under his and we put his picture, how much money he got. And I walked in the meeting with that, and people was clapping.
Oh, thank you.
No, we don't have to act a fool.
No, we don't.
Education, let's take it to a higher level. Let's teach the people the truth. because the truth is strong enough. When they got the truth,
Thank you.
that's the weapon.
Thank you.
That's the weapon. That's what they can act on.
Thank you.
So we even though we knew those people was bought and paid for, they voted 6-1 to shut down Roots. They plan to shut down 24 more schools. So I asked them, there's two things going on here. One, there's something called the privatization
Right.
of education. What does that mean? That
Private
means
schools.
that basically they want to change the schools so that you have to pay to go to school.
Yeah.
And that means for our poor people,
Yeah.
that we ain't gonna get to go to school at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And that, if there's such a thing as a sin, that's a sin, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, if we see it coming, what should we do? We should stop it now. Don't let it get out of hand. Let's come together. Let's unite.
That's right.
Organization is the key. So what we're doing, what I'm involved in, is organizing solidarity meetings in the community. Everybody, we adopt a school. We identify who the school rep, the shop steward kind of, for the teachers, and we work with them and any teachers that got consciousness, and we go through the community, we knock on the doors, we pick a spot, and then we go to school in the morning when people drop off their kids, and we go to school when they come to pick them up. Every day. So my old black, I was going to say, can I say black ass?
Yeah.
Yeah, my old black ass be up by 6 o'clock in the morning. And y'all know that ain't what I want to do. But I'm up because I'm out there every day giving these parents this card,
That's what's up.
which is the invitation to the house meetings.
That's
Oh, yeah.
Now we
Bring
have,
it back to the house meeting.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, well, that's the grassroots.
Exactly.
This is not AstroTurf.
No.
This is the grassroots.
Yeah.
And that's the only kind of work I do. I take no money from the government, from my worst enemies.
Okay.
And what we do is we educate the parents and we listen to the parents because we have to work with them in order to set up solidarity schools so the children ain't out in the street during the strike. Plus, many children rely on the meal they get at school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got to see to it that they get at least that meal through the solidarities, schools.
And Decolonize Academy is one of those schools. We're open to over 10 students, to anyone who wants to come. And we are all about supporting Oakland schools and Oakland teachers.
Do you have? Did everybody sign up yet?
We were actually we were already talked to by 3 different teachers in the strike.
Oh, so you don't need no more students.
No, we'll talk afterwards if you got anybody else.
Yeah,
but
okay,
we're
I'm sorry.
open.
I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna run out of batteries.
No, because we really need people to talk to their churches, to community centers,
That's right.
to any open space that can hold a fair amount of people, and that's a task that has to be performed. We're not trying to make life worse for the parents.
Totally.
So how do people get in contact with you, or the group, or
Okay.
is there
Well,
a website?
I tell you,
Is
yeah.
there one out?
Yes, there is. There is a website, but oh Lord.
No, it's probably on here.
Yeah, let me see in there. Yeah, get that. The OEA, that's it.
Yeah.
The
Oakland Education Association.
right.
Okay, so people who want more information, right?
Especially if you want to help with the solidarity schools,
Right.
because that's what we
And
need to do.
And it's also, we're going to pull it up on here, Oakland Education Association. Just Google that. We'll pull it up for folks who are looking. But if you're listening to us, it's also a Facebook page, Oakland Education Association. And also, as they're also asking for these solidarity spaces, you can also, if you don't know who else to call, you can also call
There it
Core
goes.
Magazine and we'll put you in touch.
Yeah, there
Right
you go.
Here, right here. Here we go. Got it up.
Okay.
And I wanted to give one more fact.
And by the way, that's
Yeah.
Keith. That's Keith right there. I was at that meeting.
Hey.
That's over there. No, that's in the school. I'm sorry, that was another meeting.
There
But
you
that's
go.
Keith Brown. Keith
Okay.
Brown is the president of the Oakland Educational Association, and that is the teachers union.
That's what's up. I wanted to give one more thing to people who don't go to public schools and don't even believe that it's as dire as it is. Who think, well, whatever, it's a school. No. You know that in public schools in Oakland, they have cut out, and this is actually most of California right now. Can't speak for the rest of Turtle Island, occupied Turtle Island, but in Oakland, history, geography, art, music, and PE are considered electives. They don't even, why? Because there's no more money. So they're passing all our babies through these systems that are just scripted curriculum and forcing all these students into one class with one teacher. My son went to CCPA, went to Roots, and it was hard on the teachers. They're struggling. They have every right to strike. We whipped it 100.
So let me just show you how it really works. Brothers and sisters, if we don't organize ourselves, take the time to get to know each other, to get to trust each other, to get to work with each other,
Oh.
what then happens is if they succeed in shutting down 25 schools, where do those students go?
Thank you.
They're gonna all pile them up at Frick or other places, and then we're gonna wind up with like literally 45, 50 kids in a classroom.
That's right.
Now here's the program of the teachers union.
Against the law.
Well, they break the law every day.
Every day.
I know.
We want smaller numbers of students in the classroom. Ideally, 15 between kindergarten and third grade. That's the most important period where kids need a little bit of individual attention. But so you see, the big bosses of Oakland Unified School District want to shut schools down. We want to keep them open.
Oh, shit.
They want larger classrooms. We want smaller class size. We want more staff to support the kids. A nurse in every school.
Oh, shit.
They got a nurse for every 1,300 students. Don't get
That's
sick.
crazy.
Don't-
Yeah.
don't get sick.
Or have a problem, for that matter.
Well,
Don't even.
I know we're running out of time, but you know, Chicago had the same issue a couple of years ago, and they shut down the whole Chicago school board for like 2 months. So I know you know that in LA, you just had a teacher strike. So you know, how can we learn from these other teacher strikes to do it right here in Oakland?
Well, let me tell you something. One of the things they be telling us, say, okay, well, you know, y'all can have some more money, but you know, like y'all don't determine no policy. We determine the policy. I swear to God, that's what they say. But let me show you what just happened in LA, and it's very inspiring.
Nice.
The teachers came together and said, forget that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're not gonna let you create conditions in our school that make it unlivable.
Thank you.
They banned random searches
Ah.
in the high schools in LA.
Wow.
Now that ain't no teacher don't get no more money for that.
Okay.
But that's a policy question.
Thank you.
And the union stepped up
Thank you.
and took the right position, in my opinion, because we ain't got no business searching kids that ain't done nothing.
Thank you.
SROs and
And that shows you the power of the working class.
Thank you.
If we're conscious and we know what to fight for.
That's right.
Now that's just one thing. I haven't read their whole contract. The
Yeah.
contract is a long document.
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to study it now so I can speak more intelligently.
That's what's up. Again, you're listening to Poor People's Revolutionary News Hour with Tiny and Leroy here on PNN, not CNN, people. KEXU 96.1 FM, Liberated News. And we're here with Gerald speaking on the Oakland teacher strike. Poor Magazine stands with these Oakland teachers, stands with all teachers, because public schools is the school. That's why us poor folks send our children. Let's be real about that. And it's really interesting because Gerald started today's talk by this powerful film,
Yeah.
on Night John, and then made the connection between, what happened back in the not so far away day where they made it illegal to teach